이름이 뭐야?
택견이랑 철권 선수.
철권 vs 스파.
스트리트 파이터 vs 테켄도?
스파 선수한다고.
For the last project of FP Psych, I wanted to film my friends and how we hang around each other. It was a very risky project at first, before I explain anything, because unlike what we were supposed to do, I didn't plan anything out before I filmed this. I assumed that there will be a lot of psychological factors behind our lives, and it turned out it actually did. I was able to find all 7 concepts from 7 modules and apply them to our life. As a documentary, I wanted to make this project as realistic as possible. However, my friends do know that I'm filming this, so there could be some inappropriate things like you just saw with all that middle finger and stripping off business. I filmed this project in total of 3 hours in 2 different camera angles so that I could give better insight to what we do. Then without further ado, let's start on my documentary. Welcome to my life.
소리 깡거크는 화랑.
그때 철권이 어딨어 거기에?
아니야 구석에 있었을 것 같아.
있었어. 나 물어봐.
Now it's time to introduce our first concept in Module 76, Social Facilitation. So before we begin, what is social facilitation? It is a concept that states that people tend to act better and perform better when others are watching them. This effect is generally seen in sports games, where sports players tend to act better because the audiences are watching them. So how is social facilitation shown in this very clip that I have? Please take a look at the screen in front of everyone. As you can see, we are playing games right now, and to give you some background information, only 2 players are able to play the game, and the rest, 5 players, are observing the game. So do their presence affect our overall performance in the game? Well, it turns out it did. As someone who was playing the game, I felt a strong urge to beat someone who I was playing with. So it was a big motivation for me to win the person next to me. Would I have had the same urge to win if I was playing alone against the computer? I don't think so. Probably all 7 of us in the scene were motivated by the same desire to win because the others are watching. Then why does this matter important in the first place? It's because such social facilitation lead our motivation to win in our lives and give us the desire as well. So next time you do anything in front of others, whether it's a presentation, whether it's a game, whether it's a sporting event, know that their presence will motivate you and make you to perform much better. So let's move on to our next topic, which is going to be subordinate goals. Before we talk about the definition of subordinate goals, let's talk about the 2 boys that are standing and what they're doing. The guy who's standing on the bed is basically filming with his phone. Meanwhile, Ryan Choi, who's in the left top corner of the video, is again filming us with his phone as well. And we must remind ourselves that I'm filming the entire scene tambien. In this group of 7, 5 people are in AP Psychology who didn't even plan or didn't even think about what to do for this project. Well, after all, the reason why we met was to work on the project together. So to sum it up, our decision to meet up and cooperate with each other was led by subordinate goals. Basically, it just says that common goal needs people to ignore their differences and just need them to work together. This is evident in the history as well. Great Britain and France were notorious for their hostility to each other. However, during World War I and World War II, they cooperated to fight against the greater enemy, which is Germany.
아 여기 있네. 릴리.
Now we'll talk about the next topic, which is going to be aggression. First, let's just observe.
야 미쳤다 저거 설계.
From another angle, even though you may not take AP psychology, you will know this concept of aggression. It is just basically any physical and verbal behavior that is intended to hurt someone. In this case, aggression was performed by both sides, me and Jaewoo. The trigger to Jaewoo's aggression was my aggression. I deliberately made fun of Jaewoo in order to hurt his feelings. The reciprocal response that I received is pretty explanatory. Aggression matters significantly in our lives, especially these days, because all those ISIS terrorist attacks that happen around the world is caused by this very topic of aggression. They intend to hurt and destroy us, and that was the very theme of aggression. Alright, now let's move on to our fourth topic out of 7 that we have, which is conformity. If you've noticed Steve throughout this film, the guy with the computer, he was staring at his computer for a while, although we've all been playing games. And then suddenly he walks in and joins the crew to play the video game himself.
당신 상대법이
He seemed very uninterested at first, but soon he grabs the controller to participate. Usually, Steve doesn't like playing games, but rather prefers to talk with his friends online. Then what exactly led him to play the game? It was all because of the concept of conformity. The concept explains that a person would adjust their thinking or idea according to a group. Although Steve wasn't participating, all 6 of us were busy playing games. Therefore, it led him to feel convinced that he himself should play the game according to the group. His actions were motivated by his desire to belong to a group and to follow the group standard. Therefore, he participated in this group until the very end and left his MacBook closed. This could happen to you in many different ways. Even though you believe in one certain way, you could act like you believe in the other because the rest of the group believes such way. Although conforming to a group standard may be a good thing in some situations, in others, it could be a right thing to stand up to your own beliefs rather than conforming to the standard of your group.
아쿠마 저거 철권 세븐에 나온다.
Now we finally change scenes and time for us to eat dinner. So far, we've covered 4 out of 7 topics there are in this unit. Now we're going to cover the 5th topic, which is foot in the door phenomenon. Please pay careful attention to me and Jaewoo.
7대2는 비빌 수가 없어. 7대1을 찍으면 역전이 안 돼.
우리 7대1 찍었는데 우리 역전 나는 거야.
그냥 그런 건 어쩔 수 없는 거고. 제가 저기는 맥주 주세요.
근데 또 다 마신 거지.
Did you notice what just happened? Let's watch the clip again.
7대 2는 비빌수가
So I asked Jay to hand me the delivery which was within his reach.
역전이 안 돼.
He did what I asked for because it was a small request.
그냥 그런 건 어쩔 수 없는 거고. 제가 저기는 맥주
Now I asked Jay to hand me a beer, which was quite a bit away, and he had to stand up for it. Although Jay doesn't usually comply to my request, he stood up and got me a can of beer without asking anything. This exact situation reflects the foot in the door phenomenon. The foot in the door phenomenon, just like the example I've shown, explains the likelihood of a person to agree to a larger request after complying to a simpler request. A very nice person would definitely comply to a request without such a need to use a phenomenon. However, to some people, this method will be useful to make someone to do you a favor. Also, you have to be wary of someone trying to use you for their own benefit. Second to last topic, which is scapegoat theory. Please listen to the audio carefully.
이게 아니라 파이. 원어 파이.
재우
너또 이상하게 해가지고.
재호가
아 조재호가 잘못했네.
재호가
진짜 너건 진짜 놈이야. 아 진짜 재호야 이러지 마.
Now let's watch that scene again. Now the boys were casually talking about inappropriate things like most boys always do. Now it wasn't technically Jaewoo who came up with the topic, but people started shouting his name, blaming him for all the talk that we just did.
재호 너또 이상하게 해가지고.
재호가
아 조재호가 잘못했네.
진짜
너건 진짜 놈이야. 아 진짜 재호야 이러지 마.
This very situation where we blame Jaewoo offers a definition of scapegoat theory, which states that any presence we have offers the reason to blame someone for any action. Now, there is a prejudice in Korea that people with a lot of pimples like to talk about perverted stuff. Therefore, we scapegoated Jaewoo for coming up with such a topic. The scary or the funny part of this scenario is that none of this were planned. This was naturally done. And that just shows how much scapegoating is common in our everyday life. Now let's move on to the last topic, mere exposure effect. Mere exposure effect states that continued contact with something or someone increases the bonding with the material or the person. The things that we do in this documentary are the things that we do every day, whether it's at home, at school, or wherever we go. Now, why do I like them as friends? The thing is, I don't know. After all, to each other, we are just hopeless idiots. However, just as mere exposure effect defines, all the time we spent together in the last couple of years enabled us to develop such bonding. Throughout my life in KIS, I'm truly glad that I was able to share memories with them, and I hope to make more even after we graduate. With this, my documentary ends. Thank you for watching.